Hey everyone. Now over the past few days, I ended up going to 4 different stores. Ended up buying some books. Now I'm not going to give you a brief description of any of them because there are 7 of them. So here we go. First up is a totally awesome Hulk number 8. Captain America Sam Wilson number 10. Web Warriors number 8. Spider-Man Deadpool number 5. Captain Marvel number 5. Captain Marvel number 6. And finally, Uncanny Avengers number 9. Now, of course, that's 7 I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,439. Observez le concierge, s'il vous plaît. Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. I'm coming to you from Clint's Comics here in Monroe, Louisiana. And this is the shirt that y'all voted for the latest Viewer's Choice episode vote. And this is a Flash themed Comic Hero tee, and to go along with it, this Flash themed hat. Well, this Flash hat, rather. This is going to be the last Viewer's Choice episode vote. But don't worry, every shirt that was featured in the Viewer's Choice episode vote, I'm going to wear in the next one. So there was a runoff between this one and a cyborg themed one. I'm going to wear the cyborg themed one in the next episode. And I have some very unfortunate news. I will not be going to GeekCon, which was supposed to be the next episode of the show. There were a few unfortunate circumstances that are beyond my control, and I just won't be going. Sorry. But I'm going to try to make every effort to go to Louisiana Comic-Con in Lafayette, which is in about a month and a half. So that's the great thing. You know, sometimes, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this briefly, but, stuff happens. And it's not so much that stuff happens, it's just how we face it. Plain and simple. All right. It's time to give away a free t-shirt. Now, last week I asked true or false. Harley Quinn was originally created for Batman the Anime series. Well, the answer is true. She was created by Paul Dini, series writer on Batman the Anime series, and art director Bruce Timm. And a lot of fans of the show and fans of the comic alike thought that she was so great that they thought that she belonged in the funny books. And so 7 years later, she ended up making her debut in Batman Harley Quinn number 1. Written, coincidentally, by Paul Dini. And 9 people answered correctly, so I'm about to draw the names. So the winner of the free t-shirt for this week is Caleb McDaniel from Crowville, Louisiana. Congratulations, Caleb. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. All right. Here's the question for next week's episode. Who was the first villain that the X-Men fought? This is a very easy one. Even my 8-month-old cousin knows this one. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free Comic Hero tee in next week's episode. Now, Adam Hodge from Calhoun, Louisiana has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight. And this one is, this one is quite cybernetic, to say the least. Representing DC, we have Cyborg. And representing Marvel, we have Cable. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Cyborg versus Cable. Cyborg possesses genius-level intellect and is highly skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Most of his body parts were replaced with advanced prosthetics, which grant him super strength, adaptive evolution, technomorphic healing factor, cyberspace immersion, enhanced human ability, technopathy, and numerous functions such as sensors and advanced weaponry. Cable possesses telepathy, telekinesis, technopathy, and expert marksmanship. Who will win? There are only two words to describe how this fight would start off. Guns blazing. Cable has a slight advantage over Cyborg because he's an expert in this field. Cyborg would understand this and have to rely on his speed. He then starts to duck each shot fired by Cable, and the former would go on the offense with hand-to-hand combat. Realizing he doesn't stand much of a chance given his lack of mobility, Cable uses telekinesis and sends Cyborg flying 100 feet backwards. Cyborg realizes that Cable has cybernetics. Cable realizes that Cyborg is half human, half robot. They both use technopathy against each other. Now, technopathy is a direct communication pathway between an enhanced or wired brain and an external device. Cyborg cripples Cable, but Cable causes Cyborg to begin shutting down. You would think Cable would have won, but not so fast. Cyborg has a technomorphic healing factor. He immediately reboots himself, opens the boom tube, and sends Cable to another dimension. Cyborg wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown! Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown, and if you have a Throwdown Showdown for a future episode, contact info is down there. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is Detective Comics number 935. Now, this is a team book. It just doesn't feature Batman. It also features Batwoman, Red Robin, Orphan, Spoiler, and Clayface. Yeah, same thing I thought. And this is part 2 of the Rise of the Batman story arc. And just when Batman thought that now keep in mind, Batman just recently found out in the in Justice League that there was more than one Joker. Now he finds out there's like a whole horde of Jokers, like there's a Joker cult. And it's up to him and the rest of his crew to stop them. Next up is The Flash number 2. Now, The Flash has super speed, and with the super speed, he also has the Speed Force. Well, the Speed Force somehow ends up going amok, and now everyone in Central City has super speed. And it's up to the Flash to help everyone use their super speed for good use. Some want to use it for good, but you know what? But then there's some people, you know, there's that old Ben Parker passage, with great power comes great responsibility. You know that not everyone wants to use it for good. There's going to be at least 1 or 2 people who wanted to use it for their own gain. It's coming. Next up is Supergirl Rebirth. Supergirl is going to get her own book next month, and this is pretty much a prelude to that new book. Now she's going to branch out. She's not going to be in New York, and she's not going to be in Metropolis. They're actually going to be writing in the city that's part of the Supergirl TV series that premiered last year, National City. And she's going, and in the last series, she ended up gaining a new love interest. Well, he is also going to be part of this book, as well as her thought dead father, who is also the cyborg Superman. You're probably wondering, wait a minute, wasn't Hank Henshaw the cyborg Superman? Yeah, in the original DC universe. But keep in mind, this is the new 52 universe. Yeah, sure, they had all DC Rebirth and everything a few months ago, but this is still technically the DC new 52 universe. And the way the cyborg Superman's origin was told was that Brainiac had found a half-dead Zor-El and retooled his DNA and made him the cyborg Superman. So there you have it. Next up is Justice League number 3. This is part 3 of the opening story arc, and something is plaguing people throughout the world, and it's up to the Justice League to stop things. The whole core of it is that lies at Gotham City. Now, all the rest of the Justice League, Batman, Aquaman, the Flash, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, the Simon Baz Green Lantern, the Jessica Cruz Green Lantern, they're all trying to stop it, but then Wonder Woman's like, hey, we gotta call him. He might not be of this universe, but we gotta call him. So Batman's like, really? I don't even trust this guy. So they reach out to the Superman of the original DC universe, and he's like, look, I don't trust you because you're not my friend. My friend died, but you gotta help us. And he's like, all right, let's do this. And speaking of Superman, next up is Superman number 5. Now this is part 5 of the Son of Superman story arc, and the Eradicator is... Now recently, the Eradicator has tried to kill John Kent mainly because he's not a full-blooded Kryptonite. He's only a half Kryptonite, half human. And he feels like, and the Eradicator feels like, okay, this is not good. He is tainting our heritage. And then when he and Superman and John defeat him, all the ghosts of Krypton are like, okay, we're free, we can do, all right, we're good, yeah. But that's only the gist of what's to come. And then finally, Green Lanterns number 2. Now this book features the Simon Baz Green Lantern and the Jessica Cruz Green Lantern, and they're the Green Lanterns. They're the new Green Lanterns of Earth, while Hal Jordan is is now the leader of the Green Lantern Corps. And they found out that there's a bit of rage going on, and they found out that the Red Lantern Corps is alive and well, and that there's a Red Dawn coming, and it starts on Earth. All right, that's 6 I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,445. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and here's the free tea question of the week. Who was the first villain that the X-Men faced? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tea for next week's episode. Now, if you don't mind buying a tea for me, or a tea from me rather, for adults, they're $10, and for children, they're $5. Now, starting next week, I'm going to be debuting a new show. Now, this one is going to be a very serious, hard-hitting show. It's going to be called Comically Speaking. I will not be doing the episodes here. Instead, I'm going to be doing episodes in my apartment. Now, I'm very excited about this new show. I've gotten a little criticism about the Comically Speaking segment no longer being on this show. So, and I figured, okay, if it can't be on this show, then why not make it a separate show itself? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm a little, disappointed and discouraged that I'm not going to be able to go to GeekCon this weekend. But you know what? Stuff happens. And it's not so, and just like I said earlier, it's not so much that stuff happens, it only matters how we face it. And you know what? I'm not worried about it. And you know what? I'm not going to let it get me down. And I better not hear anyone try to make me feel bad about it, because if you do, I will not be responsible for what I say or do. No, just kidding. I'm not a very violent person unless you hurt my family, then I can be very violent. But I'm still going to Louisiana Comic Con in a few months. And I get to meet some folks there. I get to meet Ernie Hudson. But I'm very excited about the Comically Speaking. Comically Speaking, going from being an old segment on the show to finally being its own separate show. Really looking forward to it. All right, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. We'll see you next week for episode 126, right back here at Clint's Comics. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and that, folks, is a flash fact.